Hi, live from floor 3, this is FortuneTV. Whether you're a seasoned viewer or you're tuning in for the first time, welcome to the first show of the academic year. Now, understandably, many people, especially our seasoned viewers, will have many questions. For example, why is it suddenly on floor 3? What happened to the intro? And who is this brown-haired British guy who is somehow not Stuart? Well, to answer at least one of those questions, I'm Ethan, and I'm here because Martha decided if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, it's been an eventful block at LUC so far, and over the course of the show we'll be taking a look back at what's been happening so far, and a bit of what's to come. But before we can launch into that, we decided we had to get to know who the people at LUC were this year. So to this end, we went out into the field to find out.
Hello! Why did the mushroom go to the party? Because he was a fun guy!
Oh my god, there's a camera.
What's this? I know, a camera. Wait, maybe.
I suppose maybe we should.
Whoop! Hey! Oh. Hi!
Oh man, I'm beautiful. How you doing, bro?
What are you up to?
Nothing much. Actually, I was gonna deliver pizza to you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh cool.
Yeah.
How come?
It's my birthday!
Happy birthday
Go,
to
go,
you.
go, shawty! It's your
Happy birthday to you.
Hello!
Bonjour.
Bonjour!
Ça va?
Yeah. Oh, Greg.
Oh. Improvise. 3, 2, 1.
Zeg je nou? We're back!
I was gonna deliver pizza. Because that's how a bad porn movie starts, right?
Oh, this is becoming a pop. Oh.
Yeah.
So
We better start making it. Oh. We got caught.
Hi.
Fuck.
Sorry about that. Oh,
This is awkward.
Oh, hey! I fall back.
That was not.
You wanna see my shoes?
I just stretched my butt cheek. Okay, that's enough. Jacob, how do you feel now that Liam has blonder hair than you do?
It's ridiculous.
It hurts?
It hurts.
No, I'm not those kind of sneaky guys.
It hurts.
Can you guys not tell anyone about?
Yeah. About our
We're
little
we're
makeout
both in
session.
other relationships, and it would be really weird.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Well, then as now, we are an interactive show, so if you guys have any questions at any point of the evening for any of our guests, please feel free to comment them below and our social media team will try and pick them up for you so we can ask the guests in the studio. So, straight on to it. Our first guests tonight are Tess and Henry, two members of the USL board, who are either known for creating great memories or gaps in them. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Hey, what's up?
So, can you tell us a bit about what you guys do for USL?
So I'm the chair.
I'm the DJ for USL.
Yeah.
Alright, you've been doing that for a long time.
Well, this is my second year being involved with USL, but I've been DJing now for 5 years.
Okay, and what do you think of the musical taste at LUC?
I'm trying to improve it a bit. But of course, yeah, I have a lot of fun here DJing at parties at LEC. The crowds are great, and it's a really nice environment to play out all my music and see the crowd react to it.
We're trying to plan an underground theme party for next block. So we'll have a bit of techno and deep house and stuff to try and switch it up a bit as
Yeah.
well.
Okay. Any idea where we might be seeing those? Might we return to Magistraat or new places?
We're negotiating at the moment. We're trying to get Het Magazine.
Somewhere new and different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, something to look forward to. And what have you guys thought of the events this past block?
I've really enjoyed them.
They've gone really well, yeah.
Yeah.
Better than what we expected. It's been really
the disco,
fun.
everyone really like got dressed up and it was fun, yeah.
And we had a huge turnout for the first party of the year at Magistrat. We had, over 300 tickets sold?
It's like 350 tickets,
Yeah.
so that was pretty good.
Okay. So you guys were impressed with the involvement of the first years then?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got,
Yeah.
a bit too into it, but yeah, it was fun, yeah.
Okay. Well, on that, do you guys have any good stories you could share with us?
Not that we can
have
see
a
on
few,
camera.
Yeah. There's some definitely from Homecoming where we had a couple of awkward encounters with first years, but it was really fun.
Yeah,
Like,
they know who they are.
nothing we can say.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see more of this in the next block then. Anything to say to our viewers regarding that?
You can still join USL if you want. We've got a Facebook page. And yeah, just watch this space. Got some good parties planned.
Yeah, can't wait for block 2. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, with the temperatures dropping, it's becoming more tempting than ever to just sit inside the bubble at LUC and only ever leave to get your morning coffee at the Albert Heijn to go. However, Beyond Arts was still determined to get us beyond AVB, this block at least, which we saw in Studofest, where we got just a hint of the amount of talent we have at LUC. And as ever, FortuneTV was there to cover the evening.
Hello and welcome. You're here with me, James King, for FortuneTV.
Basically, I wanted songs that kind of fit it together and it would make a nice mix. So not something like super slow and super fast. The song in the middle is the one I picked first because I thought it was super cool.
Yeah.
And I just picked the other ones around. Like I knew I wanted to put some Rihanna in there, obviously.
Yeah, it was quite a feminist kind of.
Exactly,
Was that
exactly.
sort of what you were going with?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you were trying to.
I wanted to
it
be
was
like
a bit sexy. It was a bit,
I wanted
yeah,
to like honor these powerful women enthusiasts in my mix, and that's.
Throw it up, throw it up.
The idea is we'll try to split you up into 3 somewhat same-size groups.
But to be honest, I think it was mostly what was really inspirational to us is to like get a lot of people from AVB and around to get to our house so we can get to meet them, we can present them with some nice time, nice music, nice performances, and we're so stoked about the people who want to perform here tonight.
You have such an amazing house.
Thank you so much.
I stop, I did, and my friends were like, whatever, you'll find someone better. His eyes are way too close together. We never even liked him from the start. Now he's with the tart.
I think that art opens up a space for the political imagination. When we think of politics, we think of a stale, boring, dry, used up sphere of intellect. When we think of art, we think of creativity and power, fusion, a phantasmagoric creation of the new. And it's that truly widens the scope of how we imagine political life.
Right, it's true.
And Nadia did that for us this evening.
I feel like tonight we really saw how much people can bond together over very simple things, be it singing, be it talking, just the act of sharing really confronts people, you know, to the reality of interaction and of feelings. It was really beautiful.
Wow, I think it's definitely the conversations and seeing people growing together and listening to each other. Yeah, definitely.
Three buzzwords about the evening.
Inspiring, different, and passion.
Art, beauty, truth.
I know you like your phone, but I don't.
Well, you've heard it here first with me, James King. My personal answer would have been education, friendship, and music. Well, thanks very much. Hope you all have a lovely evening. Good night.
Well, one of the great things about these events is we get to see our third years again. However, not everyone is too pleased with seeing the third years back here, or more specifically, their bikes. As a result, we're now going to be joined by Vlad and Brian from the Bike Shed crew. And remember, we'll be taking your questions, as it is a public issue. So if you've ever had any questions for Vlad, for example, what's the naughtiest thing you've ever done in a bike shed, now is your time. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, what inspired this bike shed? We've all seen the videos. I think everyone in AVB now knows. But what was the driving force behind it?
The driving force is the fact that we're doing this for class, for Foundations of Common Pool Resource Management. A lot of people actually believe we're doing this out of charity, that we actually care so much about the bike shed that we think it's such a good idea to just waste our time in the bike shed making videos. But that's not the case. That's really not the case. But the drive was also the fact that I don't think we really knew what to do necessarily in our group project, and I had the idea that maybe I should make PSAs. And Brian,
I'm an exchange
he's a very
student,
good editor.
So I'm the
He's
exchange
very
student in the
talented.
group, so I've just kind of been dragged into this LUC bike shed disaster. So as a complete outsider, we have a pretty big problem here to solve. So yeah.
Okay, well, glad to see there's a lot of passion behind that.
A
You guys
lot
have
of
actually come up with a whole new system, the bike matching, right?
Exactly. Bike share. Would you like to talk about
Yeah,
that
so
more?
we created a LUC Facebook group called LUC Bike Share, and kind of the objective behind it is to pair people who don't use their bikes very often. So the idea would be that if you only use your bike maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we could match you with someone who only uses their bike on the weekend, and then we could get rid of one of the bikes that would normally be in the bike shed. So kind of a bike sharing process.
Okay. Well, of course, as you said, it is a major issue, and in an effort to actually find out more about this, FortuneTV decided that we needed to get in on the ground. However, as we all know, the bike shed is an absolute war zone, so there was only one person with the experience who could go into such a dangerous environment and deliver us a good report. Unfortunately, Iron Out said no, so we sent in Flo and hope for the best. Please be warned that some viewers may find the following images disturbing.
Hello, yes, Ethan, I'm with you loud and clear. Welcoming all viewers to the bike shed, or what can now be described as a critical condition. The crisis began here way back in August of this year, when rebels here at AVB began mobilising vehicles to enable their travel to foreign sites all over The Hague. With the aim of extending their local knowledge, the dire conditions here have been astronomical in terms of humanitarian distress within these four walls. As you can see, Ethan, in rejection to the bike shed rules, the current naughtiest thing that students are doing in this very bike shed has been to convert their bikes into one of its many uses, landmines. Indeed, they have been planted left, right and centre, and already fatalities have occurred. So yes, there are many pressing questions for Vlad to answer, as it is now believed that rebels are considering planting these landmines outside, making this not only a regional but a national conflict. Leaving bikes outside has caused a nuisance for local authorities, as well as detrimental harm to civilians' ability to travel via safe means around The Hague. Some say that this is the state of the individual problem, however others blame the institution for providing insufficient resources. As we all know, both instability and brutality are evident here, but it's fair to say the situation will only intensify if nothing's done about it. This is Florence Morgan reporting from the bike shed. Back to you in the studio, Ethan.
Thanks, Flo. Stay safe. So, what do you guys make of all this?
I think one of the most important things we discovered quite recently, actually, that in the bike shed, there are 70 dead bikes. So you
Haunted,
better pick up your bicycles with their flat tires and their broken wheels and take them outside and let the municipality take care of it. But anyway, the thing is, there's bikes that nobody uses. So this is a big part of the problem. And besides the obvious problem, you have a limited amount of bike racks, 398 in total, and then 400 students living in the building, and that's not accounting for third years, or for IS students who have a LU card, so they can get in the building and sometimes, park and not have any problems with that.
Do you think it's a big problem, IS infiltration into LUC?
Yes, but this is a very controversial subject. I don't know if I have the authority to speak on this necessarily. I would recommend IS students, if they're watching this, not to come and park their bicycles in LUC. There's the bike park, where is it exactly? Very close to here.
Yeah, there's
next
several,
to KB. There's a bike parking place, and then there's one next to the train station. So if they could, play along and do us a service because they're visiting our great building, it would be really great if they would park their bikes elsewhere.
Well, I'm sure they'll appreciate the humility that you guys are displaying. We have had one question from the audience, and that is, are you guys planning to continue to shame bikes into the next block and maybe even semester?
This kind of depends, because this is part of a class project, we don't have necessarily any reason to continue shaming. But it has been quite successful. It has worked out quite well.
The red ticket of shame.
The red ticket of shame. So we might consider doing it in the future. It depends. It depends on our schedules, how much time we have.
And we're hopeful like the bike cleanup that's scheduled in November will have a big impact, because we literally walked around and squeezed every single tire of every bike, and we found 70 bikes that we called dead. And Zetland has called it a haunted bike shed, because why are there 70 bikes that have flat tires?
Right,
what happened to the owners, you know?
Right. Well, that's almost all we have time for, but before we leave you guys, we just have to ask, what is the naughtiest thing you guys have done in the bike shed?
I don't know, maybe, you know...
Can you say you've never parked a bike in between the bikes?
I think people should know that necessarily, right? I think it would be, you know, me as the individual and me as this persona that talks about the bike shed, I think they should be separate. I think it's better this way, you know? So yeah, that's my answer. What about you, Brian? Have you done naughty things?
I got nothing for you. Yeah, I've only been here a few months, so...
Well, you still have time. You
have
another
still
block
time
to be naughty in the bike shed.
What happens in the bike shed stays in the bike shed, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Good advice. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Well, before they do leave us proper, they have decided and brought to us a lovely PSA which they've asked us to show on their behalf.
Where should I park my bicycle today? I always wonder. Nowadays the bike shed is always overwhelmed with other bicycles. Maybe I should find a rack. Put it in. Oh no! Here. Such a fucking struggle. Oh, look, a perfect place to just nudge my bicycle in between. Yeah, I think this should do. I got class and shit. I'm a busy man. Look at me. I'm wearing a suit. Hi, I'm a new member of the staff. I teach in comparative bicycle parking in the racks. And I have here my space reserved. I'm not a student. I do not live inside the building. Do not get confused. I am a 10th year. It's always such a struggle to put it on the upper racks. If only I could find a bottom rack. Yes. Another good day in the bubble. If you see one of your colleagues struggling with pulling out their bikes, be a good Samaritan and help them out. Here you go, my lady. LUC, look what has become of the bike shed. Look at this collective action disaster. Is this why we spend so many months in the bubble to study about how to solve them? We need to make the bike shed great again. And we need to do it together with informal arrangements in order to efficiently distribute the bikes in the bike sheds, in the bike racks. We need to do it now, together, as a team. Stay tuned.
Well, we can thank the Bike Shed crew for that. So, some of the firsties have probably been wondering, what on earth is this cult and who are these people trying to induct me into it? Well, thankfully a few weeks back we had dinner with a stranger trying to help break the ice of that evening. We're joined now by the organisers, Paul and Vadim, and a not so stranger anymore, Sam. Thanks for joining us, guys.
No problem.
Pleasure. Thanks
for
having us.
How did you guys come up with the whole dinner with a stranger?
So it must be said at this point, this was Jana's idea. Jana, who unfortunately cannot be here tonight, but initially last year, it was Jana and I and Peter, who is also on the team this year, and Regis, shout out to Regis, we love you, and Helene. And the concept was LUC is full of lovely people and interesting personalities, but there's so much of this awkward, I know you, yet I don't really know you, and this elevator talk sometimes, like, hi, what's your name, what's your major, and it stops there. And we wanted to go beyond that and match people who might have seen each other before but don't actually know each other very well, and just put them in a setting in which all externalities are eliminated, and it's just them with some candlelight maybe and a good dinner, and they can bond over food because food brings people together, and that's beautiful.
Spoken like a true Italian there, Paul.
Yeah. Exactly, that's Italian.
Love the idea of the candlelight. You guys must be very optimistic of how that went there. So how do you guys go about the matching process? I imagine it must have been difficult. I mean, you've got vegetarians, vegans, gluten-free, and apparently some people can be allergic to olives.
Well, I only was privy to this later on, but they had a very intricate spreadsheet made up for all of the matches, all of the dietary needs. It was quite impressive, to be honest.
We spent quite some hours on it, right, Vadim?
Yeah, right. So we had all these people with different preferences, and then you match them with these preferences, and then you try to see. Try to think if these people got to know each other already or not, and then you try to find mostly third years with first years or second years with first years, and maybe just a word or two on the concept. I think that it's about showing and demonstrating that you can have a good conversation with anyone in the college, and I think that's like the main point. And beyond the college, you can have a good conversation with pretty much anyone, which is kind of like this idea.
So it was quite a lot of work, but I think it was really rewarding to see on that very evening people come together, and also having the feeling that now we know all the allergies in this whole building, basically. And then walking around the hallways and seeing open doors and seeing these beautiful stickers on the doors. By the way, you're supposed to put them on the doors. I don't know if that was clear. Maybe we didn't communicate. Or you can keep them anywhere, but it's nice to have them on the door and know that there was a dinner with a stranger once there.
But speaking of which, not everyone got the chance to participate. So are we going to see any future dinner with a stranger, maybe next block or next semester?
So the idea with this was that we do it once a semester. So we did it last year in block 3 when all the exchange students came back, and then we did it this year in block 1 when all the first years came in. And if things go well, we might
do the same again. Same again next year, I guess. I won't be here, but it'll still be here in spirit with you, Paul, making sure that you're.
So Sam, you actually took part, right? Were you a host or were you a stranger?
I've been a stranger both times. So I did this in the first edition, where my stranger hosted was Jasper, who it was actually really interesting because we knew each other, but we'd never really spoken, and that was quite nice to sort of sit down and speak to people who you've spoken to quite a bit, but don't know anything about. And this year I had an Italian, actually. It was very good food, so I feel like Paul matched me well there. Irena, and that was really nice again, to meet people who I've seen around and spoken to in the elevator, and really interesting talks. And they seem to, I think a lot of people enjoyed sort of meeting people, especially if you've been in your room without anyone around, so. That was really nice, yeah.
Now, obviously, you guys have been heavily involved with the organisation, so I have to ask, have you guys got any good stories? I mean, I at least have heard of one case where someone was promised a great dish, arrived, and there were just 2 bottles of wine. So.
Well, I know my neighbour, I've given it away there, haven't I? But one of the neighbours just couldn't be bothered to cook, so she went and bought 2 salads from Albert Heijn. And then we've just found out about a love story on Dinner with a Stranger. So apparently someone who had a very pleasant experience has then gone on to start dating this person. So Paul, matchmaker Paul.
This goes to show what good cooking can do.
Got the real life Tinder here.
We've actually got a question from the audience. Someone has been asking us, is it possible to bribe you guys so that they can match them up with their crush? Is that a possibility?
Only cash bribes.
Only cash. You guys would accept food or alcohol?
No, alcohol maybe. That's
We gotta have some good reasons. We gotta have some good reasons. Actually, I want to say here there has been an attempt of someone who might have been aiming for a certain person and actually pretended to be a vegan, even though we perfectly knew he was not a vegan.
He narrows it down there. You're giving it away, Paul.
So that was a funny instance. But I think we try to be, any stranger is a good stranger.
Yeah.
So you should not limit your imagination to a person that you might be aiming for or you might be hoping to be matched with.
But if you wash your dishes, then
that too.
That's a good bribe. That's a good bribe.
That's a good bribe.
That's a very wholesome message to send to AVB. Yeah. But also, guys, remember, if you are a lonely heart, just send Sam some cash and maybe you'll get your way.
Taken completely out of context there. That could be a really interesting soundbite we could have from that, but let's not go down that road either.
Right, well, thanks for joining us, guys.
No worries,
Thank
thanks.
you. Thank you.
Well, as you guys may have noticed, that was, you guys will know, it was quite an interesting evening. Many people at AVB were matched with many interesting matches. However, we decided we had to capture the evening, but we decided it wasn't just enough to go around and film. So we sent out our crew to vlog the entire evening and capture the experience.
Getting ready for dinner with a stranger. We have Jana and Paul preparing. They're having some last minute issues.
We got it. The process is you come here, you get a beautiful sticker, and as an icebreaker, we've prepared some questions for you.
I'm here with the chair of Fortuna, Handa.
Hey, I'm really excited. I don't know who it is.
418, you're probably not having a room with a view, right?
No, but it's fine. It's about the persons. I'm really excited too.
I'm so excited, man.
It's been 7:15 and my stranger still hasn't arrived. I'm looking forward to what he's doing, but we'll have to see how my evening will be. I'm curious.
My stranger is Alessandro.
Hi guys. So what are we going to cook today? Okay, salmon and some vegetables and potatoes. Yeah, and then we're going to get drunk.
So we're making green curry and dumplings.
The organized crime in Italy is nothing to fuck with. Let's put it that way. I find it fascinating. I didn't say it was good, but I do find it fascinating.
This is a bit awkward. Okay, we're ready to eat.
So we've been eating for quite some time already. We're having a good time. I'm here with Sophia actually. Hi. The food is good. We're eating pancakes.
Me and Cosmo just had some really deep conversations. I have to say that these things really bring up some heavy stuff.
They start stuff.
We're doing the dishes. We made pesto pasta with salmon and courgette.
I'm starting to get scared of my stranger because he already started about organized crime before, and right now he's talking about organized crime again.
And that's because of the mafia.
But what did they do?
They shut down. They cut funding for garbage. They cut for the garbage companies. There's just no more money going to people picking up the garbage. It's all infiltration. It's all in there.
How do you know about this?
Because I'm connected.
Cosmo's already drunk. He just dropped a beer on the floor.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
So we just finished dinner. It's super good, thank you, Cosmo.
My pleasure.
And right now we're gonna go into some other rooms and try and film and vlog there. See what happens. So
let's do it.
Yeah.
So me and Julia have been to school with each other since I was Wheatfields. I was 4. So maybe
I was 3.
So it's been.
So did you learn anything new about each other?
We've actually had the most
had a big
amazing catch up, which is you've rudely intruded, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
She's kind of a hippie because she went to what we call the Vrije School, which is kind of a hippie school.
He's grown very into a very normal, not normal, adult this past couple of years.
I learned that we both love stories about how people met.
Could you tell me what the name of your stranger was?
Best girl ever. She was very cute. She was lovely. We had a great time.
Did you have great conversations?
Yeah.
So what was her name?
No! Stop it!
As you can see, as you have witnessed, Dinner with a Stranger is one of these beautiful events at LUC. In the words of the wise Paul Musso, we have to make sure that we enter deeper conversations. And dinner with a stranger is one of the things that we can do to get there. Thank you, Fortune TV.
The best TV channel of any university in the world.
Well, exactly the wholesome evening that was promised. So, as you guys may have noticed now, by the fact that bokbier and krautnoten are literally everywhere in this country, autumn is upon us. So, for those who are uninitiated in Dutch weather, we now go to Flo with the weather.
Well, it's been an interesting season here at LUC, but you'll have to ask the gorgeous Bruno if that's anything to do with climate change. The year started off with high temperatures, which later resulted in a hurricane of first years. As you may remember, the influx left us without essential devices, such as elevators and dignity for days. This then brought in a hot front of Floorcest in the south, most notably on floor 5, which increased pressures, resulting in a downpour of shame and regret. Focusing slightly more north, we've experienced a cyclone of drink on floor 11, which has helped to cure anything from reading assignment stress to last night's antics. The hail and storms experienced well up in the skybar have led to many a foggy night with distinct smells of green grass, which of course was due to the high winds removing actual soil all the way down those 21 floors. Finally, sweeping in was a blizzard of mixed emotions and overall happiness as we reached the end of what has been a turbulent first block. Coasters will indeed have a fair few students to rescue out at sea next week. There will be no weather reports in local areas because we all live in the same suffocating region. So Ethan, it's back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Flo. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for tonight. We hope you'll join us now down in Coasters for a drink where you can tell us the naughtiest thing you've done in a bike shed. # naughtiest thing in a bike shed. And for now, though, from all of us here at Fortune TV, good night.